So let me tell you what unschooling is not. So unschooling is not just leaving your kids to do whatever they want whenever they want and not teaching them. Unschooling is not unparenting. You still have to be a parent, right? Newsflash, we're still parents. We still have to parent.
There is power in the name of Jesus. Power in the name. There is power in the name of Jesus. Power in the name. There is power in the name of Jesus. Power in the name.
Right. Hi, everybody. Whoever is on the other end of this video looking at me this morning, a blessed good morning to you. So in my attempt to be transparent and to keep things as natural as possible, here I am, have not showered for the morning, hair uncombed, still in my nightie. That's just the way it is sometimes. Being a mom, being a wife, that's just how it goes for some of us. To y'all who has it all put together and everything, planned out, well mapped out and functioning the way that you need it to, kudos to you. Good job. For some of us, it's still a bit chaotic. Right, so I wanted to stop by and just talk a little on, well, if you've seen from the title, it's basically me getting more, what's the word I'm looking for? Getting more firm in the direction I'm heading in terms of homeschooling, right? Why is this curtain being unruly? Right? So, yeah. So, basically, I find myself heading in the direction of the method of homeschooling that is known or may not be known as unschooling. It has, my arrival at this point has been somewhat natural, and I've just really recently decided that this is where I feel most comfortable, and this is where I feel like this may work for me. Deciding that I want to homeschool, if you all are familiar with my story, I would have decided that I'm going to homeschool years before my baby even got here. Right, through the Holy Spirit revealing unto me that I was going to have a son, I started having conversations with the Lord, and that was the decision that I basically made within talks I would have been having with him, that I am going to homeschool. Now I have two other children that are grown who went through the school system, so it's not like I am just totally against school and all these things. I've been there, done that, and I've decided that this time around, me coming to the Lord in the way that I have, and me really deciding to live for him, this was just a part of that decision that I had felt strongly in my spirit. So when I first got into it, when my baby was actually here, actually reached a year, and I started to think, okay, well, I'm going to have to start to get some kind of plan, some kind of structure, where I have to start from now putting things in place and planning how our day is going to be, and planning activities and stuff like that. That really was not working for me. When I said was not working for me, well, I had done a video before, I didn't post it, where I was basically going to give up my business for the Lord, because I felt like I was telling people, I did a video before saying, don't let the blessing be a distraction. Don't let that thing that you prayed for, that God gave to you, be a distraction. Don't let the husband, the wife, the marriage, the children, the job, the whatever opportunity, don't let it be a distraction to keep you from God. And I was saying things like that, but basically I myself was being distracted. And thank the Lord, glory be to the Lord Jesus Christ for always pulling up on me, always giving me that little pinch just when I need it. you know. I would have connected to a beautiful young lady in Trinidad at one point by the name of Shekinah, who at the time when we connected, I think it wasn't really the right, it wasn't time for the Lord to work in our lives, like work through our connection as yet. Back here recently, I can't remember how we started up again so strong, but I think maybe some stuff may have been going on with her and she wanted feedback, so she reached out and we just started to click because she had reached the point in her life where she decided to get serious about the Lord. And let me tell you, I could see the Holy Spirit all over this girl. So I knew that our connection, us connecting, was the Lord. You know, me being older than her, because as kicks and tell her, you know, everybody's older than you right now, Shekinah, because she is a baby basically. I think she's 22. Right? So yeah, everybody right now is older than her. So me being older than her, you know, would be able to like share my wisdom, share encouragement and experiences I would have had in order to, you know, edify her, strengthen her, you know. So, and she, for a young person who is really now starting out to be serious in the Lord, she's learning so fast, reminding me of myself when I first got saved those years back. And when I say those years back, it was in 2018, right? I was so on fire for the Lord, so hungry for His word and stuff. And she's be talking sometimes, and I am hearing myself like she's so much, you know, like a younger version of me. So anyway, yeah, we would have reconnected, and I can tell you the Lord really is moving in her life, and she brings a lot of encouragement to me, a lot of purpose as well, because we find purpose in helping others, in edifying the body, in edifying each other, strengthening each other, you know. So she's added purpose in my life, and yeah, she's just really encouraging and just a pleasant person to talk to interact with. So she as well is homeschooling, as I said, and some time back we would have been talking about stuff, and you know, she would have expressed her being basically the same thing I was thinking, that we doing this to, you know, we don't want the world raising our kids, but yet we find ourselves having them in front of the television, and it's basically the world in essence is raising them just the same because of the television. Now mind you, myself as well as her, we basically play things on the television that are educational, right? Now I find that children will learn regardless to what they naturally will learn. Their instinct is to learn, right? They will learn. We have a responsibility to expose them to proper things, to the right things, that whatever they learn, it will be beneficial to them, it will be good things, right? Now that's not just for believers in Christ, that's for anybody raising children, and you know, even homeschooling, whatever your reason may be. Your responsibility is to provide the right type of environment and to saturate them with the right kind of things, right, on their journey of education and all these things, and just personal edification. So so it would have started with me, even how we were planning, like discussing different activities and stuff that we were putting in place, and you know, and it just, well, for me it didn't work out. I had well, it didn't work out for me because I got distracted with business. Some of y'all who are on my channel, y'all would know me personally, so y'all know that I have the apparel, the gospel apparel shop, and then I have the skin and hair care and stuff like that, that aspect, right? So they are kind of two separate things, right? Now I was always say Kingdom Apparel, which is the apparel side, that is not going anywhere, because that was birthed in a time when I was really walking close with the Lord, and I was having conversations with Him in a time when He was telling me to stay home, you know, stay in His word, stay home. So I left my job, and I was the sole breadwinner at the time, And so I left my job, and he started to really provide through my husband, open doors, really, really big doors for us. And, I could see God moving in my obedience. And my husband is also saved, but we are not on the same page in everything, especially in terms of giving. Now he will give, don't get me wrong, but he just be like, okay, for him talk about me, he will be like, you will give away house and land and everything if I, just a figure of speech now, but basically he's saying I would give everything away if he allows me to. And I am aware that I've learned that I can't really be like that, that I can't just be, I have to use discernment even in giving. Yes, you give heartily and all of that, but I can't get into that right now. I don't want the video to be too long, but I have to have discernment in my giving as well. I would have been having conversations with the Lord and asking him, Lord, yes, you're telling me to stay home, but I would like to have my own source of income, basically, to fund my evangelism, to do things. If I want to help somebody this month, I must be in a position where I'm able to have, like, I don't have to go to my husband every time to take his hard-earned money, and be, he would, not every minute. So through those discussions, the Lord gave me Kingdom Apparel. He even gave me the name, right? So that is going nowhere, regardless to what is happening. That is going nowhere. But the other side of it, the skincare, hair care line, all those things, that started to consume me. It's a lot of formulating products, a lot of formulating products, so most of my time will be engrossed in formulations, sitting down, researching, coming up with different formulas and stuff. And I got so entwined, I got so, deep into it, that I started to neglect, being honest, I started to neglect my home, right? My child was basically in front of the television. Yes, it was educational stuff, but whereas in the beginning I would actually sit and look at stuff with him, and then we would do other things, and he just there by himself in front of the TV, and I would look at it and I'd be like, Maria, what going on with you? But then I'm like, but he watching good stuff, and then I'll go and still spend some time with him, and I think, I make it sound like that was all right, like I was doing enough. Even with prayer, I would be praying here and there, and and thinking that was it. I was still doing what I was supposed to, and there I'd be now a morning talking to the Lord, and I'd be like, Lord, I know that I'm not where I used to be or where I'm supposed to be, but when things start to kind of iron out and slow down a bit, then I would come back in the way that I should be. And I have this habit of talking, and within talking I might have questions, but within talking I'm talking what I'm thinking and what's in my head. I usually answer my own questions. So there I am talking to him, and I'm saying this, that when things slow down, get more calm and whatnot, I would be able to come back to you in the right way and whatever. And then I'm like, but wait a minute, when would things actually slow down? When would things reach that point? No, I would keep getting busy and busier and busier and busier, and I wouldn't have no more time for you. And then I might go back into the world, I might fall back in, which is the reason why I didn't really want to get back into that field of work, because I used to do that before when I was in the world, and I know how I get when I decide to go at an idea or go into a field of business. I have a lot of business experience, because since I was a teenager, I have ventured into the world of business. I used to have a restaurant and bar, a clothes boutique. I had different things. So, I think God had really blessed me. It's not like I went to business school or anything like that. I just naturally had a knack for business stuff, ideas, and so there I am saying, I say, no, I'll just keep getting more busy. I didn't want to go back into it, and I end up, my husband always liked that me doing that. So he always used to be like, why don't go back and do this, make soaps and make whatever whatever whatever. He always liked that. I didn't want to. I was reluctant, and there I went eventually back into it. And I'm like, God has given me this gift of creating stuff, making stuff. He has blessed me, so why should I hide it? Why not just incorporate this into me being at home and having my own little income and whatever. So I was like, Kingdom Apparel would basically be for the Lord and for the gospel, and this aspect of the business would be for me. And I'm coming up with all these things in my head and making it sound like, yeah, yeah, that's singing right, and that's and I started to get carried away. I started to get irritated, like when I wouldn't have enough time to sit and formulate, or to actually go into my area to actually make products, and or I mightn't have time to go and deliver, or because remember, my husband has his own business, right? So he is busy most times. Sometimes it's quiet and sometimes it's just really busy, and I hardly see him. I'll see him like late in the evening. I wouldn't even see him in the morning, because he also still has his job, as how the job is not so demanding with the government. So he does that, and then he has his business after. So sometimes I don't see him all day until late on in the evening. And so it was starting to be problematic. And so me talking to the Lord that morning, I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, Lord, you are my everything. You gave me everything that I have in the first place. And these things are supposed to be complementing me and my life, not me conforming to fit those things. And I was like, no, 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 no. I feel like you put me in a position, and it's like I am removing myself from the position. And because of that, because I was talking to my husband and telling him that, and within telling him that, I was like, that is exactly it. I'm like, within me removing myself from this position, right? Just as how I am always telling you that the spiritual affects the natural and vice versa, is like I'm removing myself from the situation, from the position, sorry, that God placed me in, and thereby I am allowing certain things to happen in the spiritual realm that is going to start trickling down into the natural realm, and it will cause problems. So I was like, I'm going to just delete all my socials, all my pages for this business, stop advertising, stop posting, stop creating, and going to give away everything, and just stop. But after calming down a little while, I didn't feel it, because I've been in positions before where I felt like I had to get rid of certain things because it was really hampering my walk with the Lord. And I didn't feel that. I knew that I was on to the right, I hit the nail on the head with what I was saying, but I wasn't feeling that urgency to give away everything and to stop. I was feeling more like I needed to revamp everything, get my priorities straight, and allow my business to complement my position, my purpose, instead of the other way around. So I kind of calmed down. I didn't delete anything. I spoke to a really good friend of mine, and um, she gave me a bit of insight that was very useful to me. And so I got more structure, more, I became more stable then in what I'm supposed to be doing and in how this could work, right? Even with Shekinah, this young believer, this sister in Christ, the Lord really used her at that same time I was going through that as well, because she had sent me a video, right? Well, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, there I was, still thinking about I'm going to just end all of this thing and start back to focus on the Lord and stuff, and start to be engaged with my baby and do this right. And so there I was now, deciding to just pop on YouTube to see whatever video I could find. Maybe I was searching people that gave up businesses for the Lord. And the kind of thing that was coming up, it just was not feeling like they were Holy Spirit led. I mean, all kind of stuff just focused around money, and God gave me a six-figure business, and God gave me, I mean, I'm not saying that God can't do that, but that it just did not feel, from my knowledge of who the Lord is and how he operates, it just did not feel right. And I was like, okay, God gave you that, but I wonder which God gave you that exactly, you know? So it just was not feeling right, and I couldn't find anything, and boom, the Lord used Shekinah as confirmation, because a notification came through on the phone at that same time, and I saw that she had sent me a video. And mind you, when I after was checking back, she had sent me the video like after 11, I think it was, the morning, and I did not see it on my phone. I don't know if it just did not come through. I don't know what was going on, but I did not see this video at all until that very minute, right? And it was basically a woman talking about, you know, being a stay-at-home mom, raising her kids and stuff, and wanting to give up her YouTube channel because, you know, it just wasn't working out, and her priority was her home. And then she said that it was like the Lord spoke to her, and he didn't, that's not what he had in mind, for her to get rid of her social, for her YouTube channel. She was supposed to change it up and do it differently, you know. And it was such a blessing. I could see why the Lord would not want her to get rid of it. She's really God led, and she spoke to me, because most of what she said, if not everything, is what I was pondering on for myself, is what how I was thinking, you know. She even used the same word that I had used in saying position, you know, and that we are homemakers, and how can you, basically she was saying, how can you be a homemaker if you're not home? But she was mostly talking about the distraction of women to go out and to do this and to do that and to do the next, you know. And the devil using it as an excuse to basically distract us now, and to make us feel that, you know, being home is such an issue, and is this and is that and is the next, when it is just to distract us and keep us out of our home. Because I am the one that really stands up and prays, and you know, fights spiritually for my family. Yes, my husband is the head of our home, but I play a very important part. Right? So anyway, so yeah, that being said, I was really blessed by that video. It was confirmation to me about certain things, and so I got things into priority. So I'm doing much better now, and and getting things done and stuff. I have stopped doing a lot of advertising and stuff for the businesses, and you know, because I feel like they can be there, and when the time is really right, then I could put more into it, you know. But for the time being, I know where my priorities lie, you know. Thank God I'm not in a place where I need these businesses to sustain my family, you know, so I could afford to just let them be there and not focus so hard on them, that I could spend a little time on them. And you know, because I have a little clientele already, so I say, you know, most of the products, not most, all of the products that I produce, that I make, my family uses it. So it's not something that I would have stopped making on the whole, because we use it, right? And so I would still find time to make my products and have them there. As I said, I have a clientele, so who would come for stuff, who would ask for stuff, then you know, they would get it. But I'm not going all in again and trying to advertise and create this whole thing and this market, and get into the whole rat race. Because listen, they saturate in the market, you know, with so much a thing, because everybody wants to be a business owner, everybody wants to be a leader, everybody, you understand? And they don't understand the responsibility and the things behind owning a business. They don't understand, you know, everybody talking about financial freedom and this and that, but I maintain, why can't you be financially free and have a job with your normal job? I am not against. I have been on both sides of the fence, um, working, being an employee and being an employer, right? And there was a time when I decided I did not want to be an employer. I did not want to have a business. I wanted to just work, get my salary, do what I have to, and be good, because it's a lot. It is so much. And if you can't find proper people to help you or to work for you or whatever, it becomes so tedious, so heavy, weighed down. It's a lot, right? And sometimes you see people doing things, and you're like, they may be working on the road, they're a road worker or whatever, and you're like, nah boy, them selling drugs on the side, or some kind of thing. No, they just know how to live within their means. Don't let their eyes, that is the problem people have, their eyes and things they're seeing and what they're seeing others doing and posting or whatever, and they want this, want that, want the next, and they're starting to live beyond their means. No, you could do things, you could get things done, you could live well having a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. Some people think that they're better than others because they hold some kind of position or this or that. Everybody can't be leaders. Who would they lead if there are no followers? Everybody can't. That's just that's just how it is. Being a leader, being a natural leader, is something that God places within you, inside us. I've gone to open air and stuff and hear people telling people that you are supposed to be a leader and you are this and you can rise up and you can, someone saying. And I mean, yes, it sounds all good and positive and stuff, but they setting people up. You can be the best at whatever it is you do. Normally when I speak to young people, I always tell them that. I always say, if you had a clean toilet, if you had whatever you have to do it to the best of your ability. You don't know where it may lead. That is the mindset you have to have. Whatever you're doing, do it to the best of your ability. Somebody could come and you might be cleaning windows or cleaning yard or cleaning toilets, as I said, and somebody in a position would come and see you and they would admire you. They would admire how you're cleaning that toilet, taking such pride in your work, right? And they might have some kind of position and they'd be like, you know what, I want that person there. They mightn't even be properly educated and all of that, but I want that person there. I like how they is portray themselves, how they put their best foot forward. And you understand what I'm saying? And boom, you just end up in a position just like that. You understand? For us who believe in the Lord, let the Lord be your guide. Whatever you do unto him. Do it with joy, right? Serve with joy in your heart and love. That's what the Lord wants for us, to be servants first and foremost, right? Look, he even reprimanded the disciples when they wanted to know who would be the greatest in his kingdom and all these things. You understand? We have to have that humble nature. We have to have that that desire to serve, right? Instead of always being served. It's just a lot. It's just a lot, right? It's just a whole lot. And I didn't even come here for all of this, and look where I'm going. Anyway, just don't come down on anybody for whatever type of work that they do, or for them wanting to work on the whole. It is a blessing to be able to work and to earn a living. Praise God, right? It is a blessing. Nobody is better than nobody. Don't ever. The Lord will cut you down to size when you're thinking like that. Let him elevate you. You don't go elevating yourself and playing what. Anyway, you all, I didn't come here for this, right? I came to talk about the direction in which I found myself, right? When I had to be planning in the beginning, it wasn't working out. And I was comparing, because I think that's something we naturally do. We compare our kids to other children, other people's children and stuff, and be like, how that child doing that already and mine not doing that. And no, you need to stop that. All of us are different individuals. We learn at different paces. We have different gifts, different talents, different everything. You and I are not the same. right? So when I got my priorities right, and I started back, dealing with my son and stuff and engaging him more and just having him instead of quarreling when he following me up and down whole time, and and what I started to get real out of hand. I used to find myself quarreling and be like telling Kelly, so I can't find no time to do nothing for me, and I can't find no time to do nothing for me. And complaining, and and saying just now Nate will be big. He could be big just now, and I'll get a chance to do what it is I want to do and whatever. And I had to stop myself and say, this child is a gift. He is literally a gift from the Most High God. And you there thinking about when he get big and you'll be able to do things for yourself, instead of you be grateful for this child and take pleasure in his growing up, in every bit of it, and in his learning process, and looking at him and enjoying him learning, which it was so before I took on this whole business thing, so it was really changing me and changing my perspective, changing my outlook on everything. It was just changing everything. And so when I came back to him, he started to flourish. Like, he knows all his colors. Well, not all his colors, but the basic ones, the primary ones, I guess, the purple and yellow, white, black, red, blue, green. He knows all these colors, and he is now starting to say his ABCs. Now I'm telling you, he's just a year and some months, right? Just a year and some months. He still have a good way to go before he reach 2, right? And it's beautiful to see. And he is so perceptive. Like, the kind of thing he would pick up. And something I think I used to do myself before, and what I think a lot of people do, we underestimate them. We think that when they're just a year and something, they don't really know anything, and they're not understanding that. So I think people think that as well, and they do all sorts of manner of things, and it really affects the child. It leaves an impression on them because they pick it up. Trust me, they're observing everything. My son does be doing some kind of thing sometimes, and then I just be like, you see that? How you pick up that? He took a foot, my little, kind of short, and the top cupboard there, just can't reach it. So I have a foot stool, a little foot step up thing. So a night I there looking at him. I was recording something he was doing, right? So I had the camera on him, but my back was to him, and I have the phone in front of me like this, and I looking at him. He pushed my stepladder up to the stove and take down the lighter and putting the lighter up to the stove, trying to light the stove. And I'm like, because it's an electric and gas stove, but for some reason I just start with this lighter thing instead of just clicking on the stove. Oh, I think one of the burners wanted cleaning, and I started doing that, and it's like I just keep doing it, and I don't know, but I need to stop. And he climbed up there, and I looking at his child, and I'm like, what? So he over here in his playpen, so he could see me when I'm in the kitchen, and so he's in his playpen, and I think he all there into the television, but he really paying attention to what mommy doing, that he could understand how to go up there with his lighter, and that the lighter does light the stove, and then yesterday I was on the floor with him, and we were doing colors, and he have his own little personality. I was like, no, is so and so, and I corrected him. And after that, he didn't want to tell me any colors. And he went into this mood, and I was telling myself, I feel this how he got that one wrong, and I had to tell him, he didn't like that he got it wrong. And I was talking to him, asking him about the colors, and he just turned his head, and he just, outright not answering. And then he went on my boob, and I was like, I'm talking to you. Didn't call no name, nothing. I was just there, and I was like, talking to you, watch me now, watch me and talk to me now. This child come off of my boob, sit down, look at me, and say, yeah, watch me talk to mama now. And he just start, and he not pronouncing things because he not speaking fluent yet. He's saying a lot of words, but he not fluent yet. And so he just saying all kind of thing, and but he talking because that's what I said. I said, talk to me. This child understood exactly what I was saying, and I was just wowed by that. I was just wowed by that. We look at them, little baby are just born, and we feel them and know what's going on, but they have so much sense. I don't know if it's a thing now with this generation or if it has always been that way, but I don't know. Wow. Right? So, anyway, the minute I still ain't talk about what I really came on here to talk about, and how long am I speaking? I don't even know. Right? When I started back engaging with him and allowing him to be in the midst of me doing stuff, and you understand, he start to flourish. He start with all these things, all these colors, with more words, with and his personality just start coming out more and more. And so the learning now came naturally. It wasn't labored. It wasn't me planning these activities and making time, making sure we sit down and we do these things and we this and we that. I wasn't really. In fact, he seemed to be getting frustrated most times when we doing the activities that I had planned and stuff. And now he learning so normal in our day to day. So did I tell you what the method is? Though I just talking on and on and on and ain't even really saying what I came to say. So I have decided that the method of homeschooling that I'm going to use is called unschooling. Right? And now I haven't really, I find that because I still believe that I want to get a curriculum and all of that kind of thing, but I find that I may take bits and pieces from all the different methods, right? But the bulk, the general concept of what I want to do is basically unschooling. It feels more natural to me. It feels more right in my spirit. So basically, unschooling came about from a guy by the name of John Holt, right? I believe he was a English teacher. I could be wrong about that, right? But from what I can remember, I believe he was an English teacher that basically came to the understanding that the school system, it wasn't serving children in the right way, in terms of teaching them, in terms of them learning in the right way, or in the best way possible, right? So it is said that he would have tried to bring about some sort of reform in the school system, in the public schools and stuff like that, but he couldn't change the school system, right? I mean, come on, the school system has been established for so much years, and it's working for a lot of people. I mean, when you have your lifestyle and your job and your this and your that, I guess it's easier, it's better for a lot of people to send your kids to school and allow the system to raise them, to educate them, right? But sometimes we do that, and then the children can't really function to the best of their ability as adults, because they have to learn all these things that are super beneficial, because you caused them to focus on, I mean, this is my thoughts, right? This is why I am choosing to do what I am doing. But whatever is working for you is working for you. I am not knocking anybody, bashing anybody. But this is my thought pattern. And yes, of course, there are people who go through academically and come out and everything is perfect and beautiful and whatever, right? But generally, right, they focus on academics And then when they get into the real world, they can't really function. They can't function, at least not to the best of their ability, because they don't know a lot of things that they need to survive and to be, useful citizens in the world, right? um so the academics part is not all, and then sometimes a child could go to school for how much years and years and still come out and nothing, they didn't do nothing, because the desire isn't there, it wasn't nurtured, um so this idea of this unschooling that he came about was in essence and basically homeschooling, which I guess has been around since the dawn of time, because I mean, from a believer standpoint, you think it had schools in Adam and Eve time, you know? So so um so it's basically, homeschool is basically taking your kids out of school, right? And teaching them in a different way, right? So let me tell you what unschooling is not. Unschooling is not just leaving your kids to do whatever they want whenever they want and not teaching them. Unschooling is not unparenting. You still have to be a parent, right? Newsflash, we're still parents. We still have to parent, right? So yeah, it is not unparenting, right? What it is though is actually more engagement. It's engaging your child more, paying attention, using close observation, seeing what they like, seeing, communicating with them, creating an environment that is safe and that is you know providing them with the best experience and tools, to find their own way, to find, with you there by their side, to come up with their answers and their understanding, and just basically help them on the journey of education, you know um so it is more, really, it's more engagement with you as a parent, right? Right, looking at them, observing them, their likes, their dislikes. When they come to you, they have questions, you answer them. Sometimes you might know the answer, but you go with them, you research, a lot of the times it's like you all may even be learning together, so it's about giving them the ability to problem solve and to come up with their answers, and you understand, it's just a beautiful thing. I think it's just so beautiful, right? And school is just, to me, I mean, yes, there's the good side, but there's also the bad side, and each person has to just weigh the pros and the cons and decide what that really means for them. And you know um school is just filled with so many issues and coercion and stress, and it's like bribes. And I say bribes because from since they start off with bribing them, if you get good grades you get this, or you get little stars, you get little stickers, you're this, you're that. And we're teaching them how to be competitive with each other and all these things. I get better grades than you, I get, all these kind of things. It's like we breeding a kind of, it just going on and oh gosh. I don't want to sound like I'm against school. In a sense, I kind of am, right? But remember, I said I myself have been through school and been through the school system. And if I recall to it, things that I really had a desire to learn and really liked is the things that I have hold strong to, the things that I remember. The things I didn't really like, I don't really, like maths. I hated maths. And let's be real, in our day-to-day existence, we probably don't even use half, I know it's more, but half of the things that we really study in school in math, you know and oh my gosh, I don't know. right? So it's just really demanding, and just so stressful sometimes for some children. And kids can't really own learn at their own pace, in the school setting. They have to keep up with the whole class. They have to learn what is given to them to learn. They have to, that kind of way. So sometimes the desire just dies because they don't really have that interest in what you're forcing down their throat. Yes, the maths, the English, the this, the that is somewhat beneficial, yes, but it's just labored. It's just, and I guess it could be done with like extracurricular stuff, and with some children it will work. Some children would just fall into that environment and thrive. You're giving them what to learn, they will learn it. You're telling them, and they will follow suit. Some children, that just doesn't work for them, you know. And all this pressure with quiz, with these tests, with these exams, all this pressure being placed on them, right? And then there's bullying, there's punishment, when you don't get the good grades, or you don't learn quick enough or well enough, or you fall into some percent in the class that just ain't excelling, and or there you go being kept back, and it's just too much. And not to mention all the kind of craziness they want to implement into the schools these days, and all the it's just too much, right? um so yeah, so unschooling is just basically, allowing them to explore and experiment, and and think, encouraging thinking for themselves, and solving problems, and just becoming strong mentally, and I just think that we learn better when the environment is pleasant, when the environment nurtures that whole learning experience, and when it's something that we get excited about, you know, um, we're excited about these different topics and whatever, so we want to learn more, we want to do, yeah, you know so you're observing what the child likes, what they're into, and you're using that now in a way, to set things in place to help them to learn. The method can look different for everybody and for every home, because we are different people. We hold different morals, different things are important for us. We like different things, we have different needs, and so things that will fit some people won't fit others, right? So what unschooling may look like for me may not look like that for you, right? But the generalized purpose of it and intention of it is basically the same, right? Whereas I would want to more implement godly things and the Bible and these things. Somebody else wouldn't be so into all of that, right? But yeah, that is just basically what it is, and that is where I am leaning towards, because so far things are looking up in terms of me and this homeschooling thing, because it could be really scary. And I mean, there's a bit of pressure because you don't want to be a failure, you don't want to fail your kids, you don't want to feel like you're denying them something, or you're not giving them every opportunity to really be the best that they can be, right? So I'm here to tell you, don't worry, it's gonna be all right. Pray about it, God will guide you accordingly, it will work out, right? Let it be natural, let it just fall into place, don't force it, right? Don't force it. It will come to you what you want to, how you want it to look, what direction you want to take, you know. So okay, I think I talk enough. You think so? If y'all make it to this point, y'all make it to the end of the video, then you love me. I love you too, you know. Right? So yeah, guys, that is basically it. That is basically what is happening. Oh, that's from this thing. I want to know what. Right, guys? So y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. If you see the length of my toenails, wow. Best I start eating my toenails and allowing my fingers to grow. So I have this problem, and the other day I give it to the Lord, and my nails actually started to grow long and flourish. And I don't know what tripped me off, and I started back to eat my fingers. Literally eat my fingers, like all the flesh around my cuticles, and just it's just a mess. I can't even show you. It's bad. It's real bad. It's real bad. You ain't even seen it properly there in that thing. That camera doing it no justice, and I'm not bringing it any closer because it's bad. Okay, let's just be like, be what your hand. It's ugly. But I've been at this point a lot of times and stopped and brought back my hand to, a beautiful place. But I have to get strong again and just give it to the Lord again. But I think it's a good idea to start eating my toenails and giving my fingers a rest. Because if you see the length of my toenails, oh my gosh, that is not sanitary. So I wouldn't do that. I probably would, I ain't putting nothing past me right now. But guys, thanks for listening, as I said. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you. God bless you. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. I hope that you were able to get some kind of useful information out of all of this. All right, so I hope to see you all again real soon. Get used to this look, you might be seeing it a lot.